So happy Thursday evening to everybody. Thank you for coming out to play. And what I've been playing with a little bit this week is the idea of the past, the present, and the future, and how those things all kind of connect. We have to really begin to clear our past energy and get very present in the present in order to pave the way for the future to really be something that is a reflection of our dharmic energy, of our hearts, of what we want to, the footprint we want to make on this world, the heart print we want to leave on this world, right? And so there's a beautiful little kriya that we're going to do later. It's a nice short kriya, but it's called the Ganpati kriya, and there's a little reading in here. Hi, Larry. And there's a little reading in here about the idea of the past, the present, and the future that I'm going to read. And it says that each of us has 3 regions of life to conquer. The past, which is recorded in our samskaras, and which brings us the challenges and blessings of fate. The present, which must be mastered by karma yoga, the practice of action with integrity in the moment. And the future, which is recorded in the ethers, and is at its best and most fulfilled, called Dharma. So I just want to talk a little bit about the idea of samskaras, karma, and Dharma. We have somebody else joining us. Hey, Perry. All right. So what I'm going to do is have you guys first move into a mudra, get nice and comfortable in your seat. We're going to move into a mudra that's very, very calming, right? Because when our nervous system is calm and our mind is calm, then it's much easier to move into the present and receive everything that this present moment has to offer. So you're simply going to take your right hand, place it over your left, and just clasp your hands together. So it's kind of like your left hand is holding the fingers of the right hand in its palm. And then the tops of the right hand fingers are just kind of curling over the back of the left hand. And just rest that either with your elbows resting on your lower ribs, or you can bring it down to your lap, whatever's most comfortable for you. But you want to make sure those palms are connected as well. You want to make sure that there's no space like that. You want them to be together. Just close your eyes and start to bring your attention to the sensations in the center of your palm. Maybe noticing a sense of comfort. See if you can find the energy of peace. Notice where that is contained inside. And maybe just by your noticing the energy of peace somewhere inside, it starts to flow, starts to make itself known, and gets bigger and bigger. Where your attention goes, the energy flows. Allow your whole body to relax as you tune into the vibration, calm and peace, moving from your fingers and your palms through your entire body. I'm going to talk a little bit about samskaras and what they are. Samskaras are basically mental impressions, they're recollections, they're imprints. They are our conditioning. They're made up of our past in this lifetime. Some say that it's also spillover from past lifetimes, but mostly our conditioning here, our experiences, what happened in our childhood, little things that have happened and that have lodged themselves as pockets of energy inside of us. And now we call them triggers. Right? It's those reactions when somebody says something that's very benign, but it pushes a button inside of us that brings a very strong reaction, and we know it. Maybe not in the beginning, we don't always know it, but the more it happens, and the more we become aware, we become conscious, and we start to dig a little deeper, we notice like, oof, that reaction was definitely not of the same caliber of the situation that triggered it. So those are some samskaras, right? And it's interesting because the word samskara means preparation, purifying, perfecting. So what it is when we are in tune with these samskaras, when we see where our triggers are, then we can start to kind of pull the threads on them, unpack them a little bit, pay attention to them, notice what brings them up, and maybe start to change the energy of that, maybe start to change our minds, maybe release and feel the emotions of those triggers that we have kind of buried deeply inside. And as we release that, as we feel it, we release it, we experience it, we heal it, it gives us the ability to move more into the present, right? In the present, that's where our karma resides. So what is our karma? Our karma is like the sum of all of our actions through this life, through our past lives. It's the energy that we bring here, right? It's we come here with this desire to experience something different than we have in the past, right? We hear the term burning karma, and all that means is doing things differently, having the opportunity to react differently to a situation, being someone different in the situation. It's a refinement of our inner consciousness, right? It moves us away from those knee-jerk reactions of the samskaras. So karma also is, there's a form of yoga called karma yoga, and what that is, it's selfless action for the benefit of others. And that's said to lead us to a state of moksha, which is spiritual liberation. So being integrity in the moment, acting with integrity, and making sure that your words and your actions are in alignment with what it is that you want to be in this world. And then we move into the idea of dharma, right? Dharma is our duty in this lifetime. Everybody's dharma is a little different. I always talk about the jigsaw puzzle and how each one of us is a part of that jigsaw puzzle, an individual, unique part. So our dharma is what we came here to bring into this world, right? And we move through this world with the consciousness of right action. And as we do, we fulfill our dharma. If we don't fulfill our dharma, if we make choices that don't resonate with our truth, then many feel that what we do is we come back again and again, get opportunity after opportunity to live out our dharma, to face our personal challenges, and to really bring the fullness of who we are to this world. So just a few things to think about as we move through our practice today. Take one more breath with this mudra. Maybe squeeze your hands a little tighter for a moment. And then keeping your hands together, release the pressure. And notice any shift in energy. And then move your hands so that your palms come together at your heart center, Anjali Mudra. And we'll open with Om Namo, Guru Dev Namo. Inhale deeply. Om Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Pause and feel. Calling on our highest consciousness to guide us in our Dharma, to shine the light on the integrity of our actions, to guide us to release those triggers that sometimes cause us suffering. Moving into our next chant, Ad Gare Name. Starting at the heart 3 times together. Ad Gare Name. Jugat Gare Name. Sad Gare Name. Sri Guru Deve Name. Ad Gare Name. Jugat Gare Name. Sad Gare Name. Sri Guru Deve Name. Ad Gare Name. Jugat Gare Name. Sad Gare Name. Sri Guru Deve Name. Just pause with your hands at your heart. Feel, notice. Inhale deeply, bringing that prayer up overhead, squeezing everything up the spine, the pelvic floor, navel center, up and back. Hold your breath. Let it circulate through every cell of your body. And exhale slowly, hands wide and around. Enjoying the journey through the ethers around you, imprinted the energy of your dharmic path, your purpose here. That thing that calls you all the time. That path that always taps you on the shoulder and says, look this way. The place where you feel the most at home. Settle there for a moment. Then opening your eyes. We're going to move into a breath meditation. Lynn, I don't know if you know that your video is off. If it's off on purpose, it's fine. But I know sometimes people don't realize their video's off, so I'm just letting you know. All right, so we're going to move into a meditation called the Liberated Heart Meditation. And, I find like for myself that often when I work on opening the heart energy, it's the energy of compassion and love and peace and forgiveness. When I get that energy flowing, a lot of it moves to self. A lot of times there's a lot of need for self-forgiveness, for self-love, for self-compassion. And so in order to really release these samskaras, to feel the energy of the triggers that, hurt our hearts sometimes, for me, my heart has to be wide open. I have to be able to embrace myself with a sense of compassion because it takes courage to walk into the energy of those things that make us feel ouch, So this is a simple meditation. I love it. You're going to take your hands, place them in front of you like this. You're going to curl your fingers into the pads of your hands, and then you're going to bring your thumbs together, right? And it forms almost like a little swan neck. You're going to bring this right in front of your upper lip so it looks like a mustache. Your eyes are going to remain open, but focus down so you're looking at the tips of your thumbs. All right, and the breath is going to be through your nose, and it's going to be 8 equal strokes in, so it's going to look like this. And 8 out. And you just keep going that way, 8 strokes in, 8 strokes out, and you're going to listen to the sound of your breath. That is the mantra, the sound of your own breath. So eyes are going to be open, but you're going to be staring down at the tips of those thumbs. So they're in front of your lip. They're not actually touching your lips. So they're right in front of your lip. All right, so begin. And I'm going to put on a little music for you guys in the background as you breathe and listen.
Har Singh Nile Narayan Guru Sikh Har Ayan Wahe Guru Har Dhyayan Sakht Nindak Dusht Mathayan Har Singh Nile Narayan Guru Sikh Har Gayan Wahe Guru Har Dhyayan Sakht Nindak Dusht Mathayan Har Singh Nile Narayan Guru Sikh Har Gayan Wahe Guru Har Dhyayan
The mind starts to wander, bring it back down.
Sakht Nindak Dusht Mathayan
One more minute here.
Har Singh Nile Narayan Guru Sikh Har Gayan Wahe Guru Har Dhyayan Sakht Nindak Dusht Mathayan Har Singh Nile Narayan
Keep going. Concentrating on the rhythm of your breath. It's said that the mudra that you're forming, that you're staring at, represents your inner grace and the dominance of the neutral mind. Right, the sattva guna, the place inside that guides you to peace, that melts away anger, takes away the reactions, the sting of those samskaras. Keeping your hands where they are, inhale deeply. Eyes still focused on those thumbs. Hold the breath in for a moment. Keeping your hands where they are. Exhale. Inhale deeply. Keeping those fists, inhale your arms straight up to the sky. The thumbs are facing each other, but they are separated now. Hold. Exhale, bring your thumbs back to the position they were in. Back to your mustache. And then one more time. Inhale deeply, arms up to the sky. This time, pull those thumbs in, make full fists. Squeeze those fists, squeeze everything up. Hold. Exhale your hands down to your knees, eyes closed. Feel. Notice the space around your heart, the energy there. Sometimes we have almost an armor around our hearts. While we're keeping hurts out, we are also slowing the flow of love that is surrounding us, that is yearning to get in. So as we begin to soften these barriers to emotion, we contribute to the give and the take, the ebb and the flow of the energy that moves through our hearts. Feel that. Take one more deep breath in. And as you exhale, open your eyes, make your way to your hands and knees. You can put a blanket under your knees if you'd like. Once you get there, we're going to begin to cat-cow, just flexing that spine, rounding it, and then allowing gravity to pull that belly down. Inhaling and exhaling. Moving the breath, moving the spine. And then come to stillness. Do some hip rolls to one side, go in one direction. Nice deep hip rolls. Bring your breath around with you, letting your butt move towards your heels, letting your heart move forward. Noticing what your mind does when you think about the words samskara and karma and dharma. Do they complicate things? Does your mind start to think of it as something that is so outside of you? Next time you come forward, pause and go the other way. But really, our minds complicate everything. So if we can look at our samskaras, at our hurts, at our wounds, at the things we came here to heal, if we can look at our karma, our action, and words that back up our intentions, and even our dharma, our purpose here, if we can look at it through the eyes of the heart, it becomes very simple. Come to stillness, come to center, and listen carefully. So what I want you to do is continue those hip rolls, but what you're going to do is you're going to inhale deeply as you roll to the right, and then pause and exhale as you roll to the left. So you're going to keep on going from side to side, inhaling as you go to the right, pausing, exhaling to the left. So they're not full rolls. You're just kind of moving from side to side. Yeah, beautiful. You guys look awesome. Okay. Right, the heart is simple. The mind is complex. The heart tells us the truth. The mind makes up all kinds of stories about things. I can't tell you how many times I have had myself so worked up about a situation that never really happened. And it amazes me every time it happens that I can really follow my mind down that path, and it can become so real. So funny, things that our mind says. And when you think about it, anything that our mind is thinking about that isn't actually happening right in front of us in the present is a story. But it's our samskaras, our memory, our experience of the past that tells us that, oh yeah, if A, B, and C happens, then C is definitely going to happen, just because it happened in the past. But that doesn't have to be that way. And often it's not. The next time that you do that exhale to center, pause there. And then making sure that your wrists are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips. Inhale your left leg up to the sky. And as you exhale, cross it over your right ankle. Let it land on the floor, all the way to the right. Take a peek over your shoulder. Say hi to your toes. And come back to center, inhaling that leg up to the sky. And then back down to the mat. Left leg comes out and back. Really stretching up, up, up. And then crossing over to the other side. Taking a peek, those left toes. And then moving back up to the sky and down to the mat. From here, you're going to slide into baby pose. So your hips, your knees are going to stay right where they are. You're going to begin to slide your arms forward, melting your heart and your head toward the mat. Your butt's going to stay up in the air. Really letting yourself melt into the pose. And from here, see if you can just come onto your right fingertips. Take your left arm, bring it out to the side, and just kind of slide it under your right arm. So kind of like thread the needle. Take a breath here. And then bringing that arm out to the side, back to the mat. Move to the other side. Opposite arm moves up. The right arm slides under the left. And just pause there for a moment and breathe. And then float it up to the sky and back to the mat. Walk yourself back up to tabletop. Once you get there, move your right hand so it's more toward the center of your mat. Inhale your left arm up to the sky, twisting. Exhale that arm down, switch sides. And keep going. Make this a flow. Go slowly and mindfully. As you are reaching up, coming down. Twisting and turning and reaching. With each turn of the head, a different perspective, kind of like life. The next time that your right hand floats up and comes back down, come to stillness. Let your left leg come out to the side. So you're going to step your left leg out to the left. And then start to walk your hands toward your left foot. Once you get there, move your right hand, if you can, to your left ankle. Bring your left arm up to the sky. If that feels too unstable, then stay right where you are. Floating your arm down. Plant both hands on the mat and walk back to center. Step your left leg back so that your knee is parallel to the other. Move to the other side. Right leg comes out to the right. Get nice and stable, and then walk your hands over. Placing your left hand on your right ankle. Right arm up to the sky, or thigh, or shin, or knee, or whatever. Beautiful. Take a breath here. Exhale down, planting both hands, walking back to center. Bring the right knee back in. A few more cat-cows here. And as you come to stillness, keeping your hips and your legs where they are, come down to your forearms. And from here, you're going to curl your toes and just come up into dolphin just for a breath or two. Raise your hips up to the sky, pressing into those forearms. We're in dolphin pair. So your forearms onto the mat. Lift your hips up to the sky. There you go. Take a breath and then another. Release back down to the mat. Knees nice and wide, big toes together. Moving into child's pose. Really settling into your child's pose, allowing yourself to let go. I'm going to read a little passage from this book, Outrageous Openness. She talks about the idea of samskaras, at least to me, it's what samskaras are. She calls the passage Free the Psychic Hostage. Thinking of oneself is an opportunity not to be missed. Thinking for oneself is an opportunity not to be missed. Sometimes we turn our lives over, not to a power greater than ourselves, but to an unintentional, petty dictator. Then we live in a walking dream as their psychic puppet, even when they're no longer around to pull the strings. I've had clients who have spent half their lives in therapy trying to understand the grip a particular parent had on their psyche, but they never fully cut the cord. There's nothing more poignant than someone in their 30s, 40s, or beyond who's still an abject slave to their past. While my own father has a huge, generous heart and a fabulous sense of humor, he was also quite demanding when I was young. Nothing felt good enough, and though I believe I selected him as a soul to resolve certain karmas, I couldn't fully free myself as an adult from what seemed like his steadily critical voice. While I had so much love for him, a part of me remained his obedient but ever disappointing child. Come up to tabletop. Move through some hip rolls, either direction. Then a few months ago, I hit a horrible writing block. A project was almost done, and it was due the next day. So I just prayed in desperation, please, please, please get me out of the way. I need my own voice. I need to be enough as I am. Move in the other direction. The next thing I knew, I felt drawn to the ocean. I bought a letter from my dad that hurt me whether he intended it or not. I honestly could no longer tell what was real or my own entrenched reaction. Come to stillness. Curl your toes, hips up to the sky, stretching out into downward facing dog. Pedal your knees or sway your hips. Find your freedom in downward facing dog. And then as you return to stillness, slowly walk your feet towards your hands. Grab opposite elbows. Melt into Uttanasana. Then I stopped at the store for a coconut and flowers. I was set to do a ritual from India I'd performed about other topics before. It was time to offer the whole mess once and for all to the divine. I meditated for a long while, pouring every frustrated thought and feeling into the coconut sitting on my lap. Then I got up and smashed it against the stone wall, watching the milk explode like a psychic grenade. Release your arms down. Place your right hand in the center of the mat, left arm up to the sky. Now I need to burn the letter, but the wind was so strong my lighter was useless. Unbelievably, I saw two young guys a few yards away tending a huge fire. Am I dreaming, I thought? On Ocean Beach in the middle of the day? Exhale down, switch sides. I walked over and explained the story. Watch out, the heat is ferocious, one guy cautioned. Want me to throw it in so you don't get burned? No, I yelled, the wind whipping my hair. I'm the daughter, me, I have to. Exhale down. Put a slight bend in your knees. Inhale your arms wide and out. Rise all the way up to stand. Bring your hands to prayer overhead. Prayer down to the heart. All the way through your center body as you move down toward the mat. bending your knees and doing it all over again. Inhaling wide, prayer overhead, down to the heart, down to the mat. Keep going, flowing. I grabbed a long stick to plunge the paper into the leaping orange flames. As the pages burned to flowing gray ash, the guys high-fived me, yelling, "You're free, Mama, you're free." They toasted me with their Heinekens, while one even danced a little victory jig. The next time you dive down, pause for a moment. This time, place your right hand on the outside of your left knee, left arm up to the sky. Later, I left a trail of purple orchids along the water's edge in gratitude, most of all to my fierce and beloved dad. The wildness of my own fiery, passionate nature came directly from him. Exhale down, move to the other side. You know, at some point, you have to free the inner hostage. No one else can storm the gates. You alone can finally break the barriers and just free yourself. You. Exhale down. A little story about how these samskaras affect us. Bend your knees, inhale those arms wide, out, come on up to stand. This time bringing your hands to your heart, coming to stillness, feeling. We liberate our hearts, we liberate our minds when we allow ourselves to fully embrace the emotions inside of us. It's not about blaming anybody. It's just about releasing patterns. It's about forgiving our past, forgiving those people in our past, forgiving ourselves. That's when we can step freely into the moment, into today, into the present. Inhale your arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers. Let your pointer fingers come together facing up. All the other fingers are interlaced. And just start to draw circles above you in the sky, letting your torso rotate around your hips as you just draw big circles. And so you're drawing this little hatch above you, right? A little column to feed the energy that resides deeply inside, up into the ethers, up through the crown chakra, up into the truth, the infinite truth that everything is changeable and interchangeable, and transformable, and nothing is stuck. Everything moves. Start to spin in the other direction. And then come to center. Exhale your arms down to your sides. And as you bend your head forward toward the mat, bring your arms up back behind you like airplane arms. So you're going to forward fold. Your arms are at your sides, and you're going to let your arms come back and up behind you. Inhale. Exhale, bring your arms forward, come to stand straight. Inhale, dive down, come back to that first position. So we're breathing in the opposite way that we normally would. Exhale up. Inhale down and keep going. Right? Messing with our brain, changing things up. Refusing to stay stuck, letting the present be a place where we get to change the past, where we get to break out of our patterns or embrace those patterns that serve us consciously, right? No more living by default, no more living on autopilot. That's what living with full integrity is, right? It's moving past our fears. It's doing the right thing, even if it means letting go of a whole bunch of money if we do something else. Right? Sometimes somebody will move into a situation because it means that they're going to get money, and they're so afraid not to have money. And so they do things against their own integrity, and not necessarily illegal things, legal things, just taking jobs that we don't really want, right? Or saying yes to doing something that we really don't want to do. When we move into our integrity in the present moment, our actions are to move away from the things that don't move us toward our Dharma and trust that we'll be taken care of on all levels by the infinite, by that which guides us through our Dharma. Next time you dive down, pause there, arms behind you, and then let those hands fall toward the floor. Bend your knees enough so that your palms can plant. Step one foot back, and then the other. Knees to the mat, nice and wide. Big toes together, child's pose. Pause here. So it's not hard to fall into the simplicity of our integrity, right? Most of us know when something doesn't feel right, and then our mind gets involved. It tells us to do it anyway, or to live a certain way, or to hold on to a certain belief that doesn't resonate. It takes courage to move into the simplicity of thinking, this doesn't feel right, and so I'm going to say no. This doesn't feel right. I'm going to ask people. I'm going to find another perspective. When we can fall into that simplicity, when we can find the courage to be that, then all of this new perspective comes our way. And suddenly what was scary and what hurt becomes something that is this path to pure freedom, to pure liberation. Slowly begin to make your way up to all fours, moving into a comfortable seat. We're going to do the Ganpati Kriya. It's a short Kriya. Be seated the whole time, and it's fun, and it's simple. So you're going to start with an easy pose with your arms resting on your knees. Your arms are going to be nice and straight. Your palms are going to be face up. And we're going to do the mudra of moving our thumb to each of our fingers as we chant. And the chant is going to be Sa ta na ma ra ma da sa sa say so hum. Right? So Satanama Ramadasa Sa say so hum. You're going to do that with your eyes closed, and you're going to chant out loud. All right, so that's the first part of this kriya. Sa ta, and you're going to do it on one breath. So it's going to be 3 rounds of the fingers, 1 round of the chant, 1 breath. Does that make sense? Good? All right, let's begin. I'll start you, and then I'll fade out so you can stay at your own pace. Sa ta na ma Ramadasa sa say so hum. Sa ta na ma Ramadasa sa say so hum. Sa ta na ma Ramadasa sa say so hum. Keep going. This meditation is said to redeem all negative feelings and emotions of the past, the present, smooths out your day-to-day problems, and creates a positive tomorrow. Past, present, future, samskaras, karma, dharma. Ganpati, Ganesha, Lord of happiness and wisdom, the remover of obstacles, the placer of obstacles, so that you can see how absolutely amazing you are as you move through every obstacle placed in your path. The next time that you finish the round of the chant, you're going to inhale your arms up. And just exhale, keep your arms where they are, and then inhale, and as you hold your breath, begin to move, twist your body around, arms, torso, everything. Keep that breath in and keep going until you have to let that breath out. When you let the breath out, you're going to come to stillness. Inhale again and start dancing again with the breath in until you can't hold anymore. So just keep going. Dance from your heart. Let your true nature do whatever it feels like doing. Express yourself through movement. Feel the empowerment of who you really are, your true nature. Ganesha, his vehicle is a rat, and the rat represents the ability to move through, to penetrate every obstacle, to find a way around or through, right? If it can't squeeze through, it gnaws its way right on through something. If it can't find a nook or a cranny to move through, it finds a way. So your persistent nature, your resourcefulness, your ability to take what you need in any situation and really mold it, form it, so that it holds a place for you to move forward. We're always moving forward. Sometimes we think we're not because we find ourselves in the same place we were before, but we're just at a deeper level, right? We dig deep and it takes time and it takes effort and it takes a lot of patience to cut the cords of these samskaras, to go deeper and deeper into the levels and the layers. Clearing the blocks of your own karma. The next time that you exhale, come to stillness. Let your hands drop down to your knees. Close your eyes and stare down at the tip of your nose through closed eyes. And just meditate. Become totally calm and absolutely still. I'm going to read what I read in the beginning from this Ganpati Kriya. Each of us has 3 regions of life to conquer. The past, which is recorded in our samskaras, and which brings us the challenges and blessings of fate. The present, which must be mastered by karma yoga, the practice of action with integrity in the moment. And the future, recorded in the ethers, and at its best and most fulfilled, is called Dharma. Inhale deeply, hold the breath in, begin to dance again. See if you can hold the breath for a full 30 seconds or as close as possible. And then exhale, come to stillness. And one more time, inhale, hold that breath in, and really dance and move. Feel every single cell of your body dancing with you. When you're ready to exhale, you're going to move to stillness and then make your way to your backs. Bend your knees and plant your feet. Take your right ankle onto your left knee. And then reach behind, pulling that left thigh back. Long, slow breaths. Release your hands out to a T and begin to bring the sole of the, let's see, where are you guys? Right foot down to the left. This foot that's in the air, bring it down to the opposite side, coming into a spinal twist. Yep, I think you got it. I can't see all of you. Arms out to a T, gaze moving in the opposite direction of the knees. And then back to center, sending the legs up to the sky, bringing the left ankle onto the right knee. As you bend, yeah, there you go. Reach in for that right thigh. Enjoying the stretch. I love pigeon pose, whether it's on my back or on my belly. And then release your arms out to a T. Begin to bring the sole of that foot down to the mat. Then come back to center, sending those legs up to the sky. Bring your knees into your chest. And then exhale them back up to the sky. A couple more times. Inhale them in. Exhale them up. And the next time they come in, place one hand on each knee. Begin to circle the knees away and then toward each other. And then moving in the opposite direction. Coming to stillness. Reaching for your insteps. Just for a moment, bringing your knees towards your armpits. Moving into happy baby, getting a nice stretch in. And when you're ready, releasing, letting your legs come out long, your arms to the sides. Taking any final stretches or twists or maybe a quick bridge before you move into Shavasana. begin to deepen your breath, moving your attention back to your physical body, stretching and moving, maybe opening your fingers and closing them, letting your head rock from side to side, floating the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet together, rubbing, connecting. And then either rocking up and down on your spine or rolling to your right or your left. Join me in a seat, hands at the heart. And if you know what, you'd like to join me in the closing prayer. May the long-time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Please join me in sealing our practice together with a long Sat Nam. Inhale deeply. Sa. Nam. Floating your hands to the space between your brows, bowing deeply into your own amazing soul. Be love, believe, be true to you. Sat Nam.